Hey guys, this is Anastasia, and this is day 6 of Yule. Tonight, after all the hullabaloo of the day, I'm sitting down to craft a witchy orb. On this day, I really, kind of pulling from that Wiccan Northern Tradition blog that I found so long ago now. I really liked they associated today with healing. And I liked that concept, but I take it a step further and I really connect it to, um, I look at a specific thing to heal, I guess, for lack of a better phrase. Every year is kind of something else. This year, a lot of stuff has kind of been happening in my personal life and kind of around me that shows that a lot of goddess energy is needing to be healed. I don't want to restrict it to gender and say just women need to be healed, because I see it in men as well as non-binary. I think there's a lot of hurt and pain that has kind of been uprooted, and we're shining a light lately on a lot of injustices and abuse and just insanely difficult things have kind of been coming up. And I think that's true in pop culture. I think that's true in everyday life. I've got personal friends that kind of pop up, and all of a sudden they're dealing with all these traumas that happened years ago, and it's being brought to the surface. That seems to be kind of how this year is ending, for me at least, in my own personal life, but also in friends and family, and also people I don't know, like, celebrities. There seems to be all of this realization of wrongs that have happened and all this pain that has kind of happened, and a lot of people are in the process of reclaiming their power, and I really like that. And I think that's something that needs to be encouraged and be healed. We need to heal all these scars, not to get rid of them, because I believe, these metaphysical scars that we talk about are insanely beautiful and difficult as all fuck to get over and deal with, I will grant you. And for some reason, the holidays really bring that out. Every insecurity, every blemish, every pain that you have had to endure seems to scream scream out above all else that this has happened and this is still something you're dealing with. And instead of hiding, instead of just pushing it under the rug, I think it's very healthy and good that things are being exposed. And although it's raw and painful and difficult, I think it's very good to have it out on the table, because we can then assess what has happened and how it happened and how can we stop it from not happening again, and what can be done to better our future as people, not specifically one gender versus another, just everyone working together. I think is a really good thing. And I think Mother Earth absolutely needs to be healed, and I think it's through connecting with her that I at least get that calm back. I find myself more at peace out in nature than anywhere else. And in the wintertime especially, it gets to be a little difficult to connect to Earth, for me. But this year I'm actually starting to work with the elements based on the season. So Earth is right smack dab when winter starts. The beginning of Yule is when it kicks off. So it is something I am going to venture into the snow and ice and cold to connect to Mother Nature, but I think that's what I need right now. And so connecting to this healing energy that I honor on this day, I wanted to not only put that into Mother Earth and to that element of Earth that I'm going to be connecting to, but also connecting it to all feminine energy, all goddess energy. Just kind of reclaiming that power, not necessarily over the Lord, because I believe in balance, but maybe balance things out a bit. Let people embrace the feminine within them and let it not be seen as a negative thing for once, and not have people be ashamed of it, because I know quite a few people that, oh, I don't want to show weakness, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that, and 9 times out of 10 it's a very feminine quality that they're calling a weakness. And I struggle with that. I do. And I think in reclaiming our own power, we are able to say, you know, it isn't that this is weak or this is strong. It isn't that this is masculine or this is feminine. This is just how I am. And take it or leave it. Fuck off. I don't care. This is what it is. So I've kind of gone on a tangent and I apologize. But yeah, tonight I wanted to make a witchy orb to celebrate the feminine energy of the goddess and to send that healing into Mother Earth. And through sending that healing into Mother Earth, we all connect to Mother Earth, and therefore we are all gaining a bit of that healing as well. I hope that makes sense. I realize I kind of rambled there for a minute, but I thought instead of showing you guys how I make a witchy orb, because I have done videos on that in the past, I'm going to show you the setup that I am doing for my crafting spell, if you will. I am holding my camera. I'm sure I've already gone wonky a few dozen times. Please bear with me. I appreciate your patience with the fact that my hands shake like a mad woman. So what you've been looking at is kind of my candle setup. In the back you have the Yule log. My candles have already burnt out on the Yule log, so I kind of need to refresh in them. But I have my Hearth at Home candle. I have my Yule candle. I have my protection. Kind of my nostalgia Yule candle of sorts. And this is actually a candle for self-confidence and healing and kind of owning that power. That's kind of the energy I put into it when I made it. Sorry, I just sat down, so everything kind of went wonky. And here I've got my little hearth witch, my little kitchen witch. I have my Hell card from my Viking Oracle deck, and I have my Aphrodite card from my Goddess Guidance Oracle deck. Around the candles, I have my Elemental Warden candle set. So I've got earth, over there's air, fire is back there, and then water is over here, just kind of connecting. The reason I chose Hell, Aphrodite, and my kitchen witch it connects me to the feminine powers that I really work with. Hell, obviously my matron, Aphrodite, a goddess that I have been working with for 8 or so months now. And then my kitchen witch is really what I connect to my ancestors' goddess energy. When I work with the ancestors, I have my beautiful crow feather that was gifted to me with the crow skull insignia and pine cone with the red fabric. But when I'm cooking, when I am kitchen witching it up, this is my little witch that I made. She sits on my stove, her place of honor. And so when I'm thinking of primarily goddess energy, in my ancestral work, that is my little guidance, or goddess of sorts. So I wanted to include her here. So I've got my goddess energy that I work with and my ancestral energy that I work with. And those are really kind of the feminine energies that I work with, that are specifically seen as such. Then over here, these are a bunch of lovely stones. This is actually a little sachet bag that I have, a goddess token that was gifted to me by my friend who runs Enchanted Boutique in White Bear Lake. Check it out. In here I've got her goddess token, I've got a quartz point, I've got selenite, I have a moonstone, a black moonstone, and a white moonstone. Or no, that's opalite. I'm so sorry. Yeah, so I've got a moonstone and opalite. And those are kind of my goddess stones. That's really my full moon sachet that I hold on to during the full moon. Here is an emerald. Here I have another piece of selenite, a lapis lazuli. This is my black moonstone. Here I have a piece of jade. Piece of jade, there it is. This is a big chunk of rose quartz. This is actually a piece that sits on my Aphrodite altar. And then this is a piece of amethyst that I thought looked like a crow's head, so I had to get it because it reminded me of hell. Even though hell I don't normally associate with amethyst, the crow's head kind of gave it that feel for me personally. So that is why I have it. So I've got Aphrodite and hell included here, and then all other good healing, really healing energies. That's how I view all of these stones. I understand there are other things. Lapis lazuli, I really connect to earth healing and just kind of connection to the world. Any stone that connects to the moon, so selenite, moonstone, are going to connect to that feminine energy, and heal. Emerald and jade, I connect to the earth and kind of that mother feel. And yeah, so I've got those here. And then here, I'm going to have to stand up again. I apologize. It's going to make the camera go wonky. Here is my basic setup. You can kind of see. So I've got my cauldron, which is just a little cauldron. And then on this side, I have, for my goddess guidance oracle card, I've got Vesta. She is the Roman goddess of home and hearth. I don't really work, before Aphrodite, I never really worked with anyone in the Greek or Roman mythos. But Hestia, I've always felt kind of this kinship to when it deals with hearth and home. It's always kind of how I've related to fire in and of itself as an element. It's always been that warmth, that comfort, that kind of ancestral bonfire of sorts. And Hestia, who is the Greek counterpart, basically, or version of Vesta, kind of encompasses that for me. I know there is so much more to Hestia, so much more to Vesta, but that's my personal connection to her. So since I was looking to heal, send that healing out into that Mother Earth and really connect to feminine power, that was a card that once I saw her, I'm like, well, I definitely need you out here, because for me, that is really how I connect to feminine energy. It is through that guardian of the hearth, guardian of the home. And it's so much more than being a nice little woman that cooks and cleans. It's so much more than a domestic goddess. For me, when I say I am a domestic goddess, or when I say I'm in my kitchen witch mode, it becomes about being a protector of that home. I go into mama bear mode like nobody else. It is that this is my realm type of energy. And if you want to be a part of this, you are here on my okay. And if you fuck with me or anyone in my home, we are going to have issues. That's that energy. So I know I've had conversations with people in the past where when I say domestic goddess or kitchen witching, that's so cute. No, there's nothing cute about it. When I am connecting to hearth and home, it is all about this being my sacred place. My hearth is my core. So when I am in it, it is a very sacred time for me. And it is very serious, and there's nothing cute about that. Then on this side, I have another card from my Goddess Oracle deck. I want to make sure I get the pronunciation right. Mawu. And she represents Mother Earth. From the book, because Mawu I have not worked with, just an overview, she is the West African moon goddess who's believed to have created all life. With her husband, the sun god, Liza or Lisa, I'm not sure how to pronounce that, I apologize. Mawu helps those who call upon her learn how to live in harmony with nature, to respect its resources. She ensures that our needs are abundantly supplied without causing harm to the planet. I obviously, the whole point of my little kitchen orb, or my witchy orb, not kitchen orb, my witchy orb, is to connect to Mother Earth and send healing into Mother Earth to then connect to all of us and release that feminine power to all. I think in this day and age we look for the more and more and more. There's always something else that we need. There's always something else that we want. There's that abundance that is all around us, yet it's never enough. It's never stated. It's never sated. That thirst we seem to have. And Mawu, from what I have read, and again, I have not worked with her, so I apologize if you have a working with her or a kinship with her, and I'm missing a lot of details. I admit I'm not an expert. But from the energy that I get when meditating about her, it has been very much about, dude, it's here for you. You don't need to go through Hades and back to get what Mother Earth is supplying for you. What we need is here. It is available. We don't need to be doing half of the things that we do to our earth, to our nature, to the world around us, just to get by, just to live. And yet we want more. And I think that's something we all, myself included, need to pause and think about, because especially during this time of year, it's always, for me, it's never I want more, but I always am like, oh, but what do they want? What do they want? I want to get them something that they're just like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. And the reality is, why do we have that? Why do we have that fear that we're going to get something for someone or do something for someone and it not be appreciated? Because it's happened in our past. Well, if we were to go out of our way to do something for someone and it's not appreciated, maybe that certain someone doesn't need to be thought of in our life experience, because at a certain point, I don't know. At a certain point, it just seems like everyone should be appreciated. And because I feel like, at least for me, I worry that I'm not, I go out of my way to try to surprise people and give more to people. And even if it puts me in a bind or a bad place, even if it puts me behind financially. And the reality is, everything anyone could need is there for them if they choose to get it and work for it and achieve it. And that living in harmony, it's not something we need to sacrifice to get the things we need. In fact, it's there for us in abundance to go along with getting the things we need. I don't know. I know I'm rambling quite a bit. She speaks very much to me, and I really love her lesson, at least according to her card in this deck. And I thought it was a good... I obviously thought it was a good card because it connects to Mother Earth. She is Mother Earth, but I think the fact that she teaches us to live in harmony with the earth and not to hurt it to get what it is we need or want is a very poignant lesson, and something that I know quite a few people could learn from, and sometimes myself included. Then the last card I have here is Yule. And again, if I'm pronouncing that incorrectly, I apologize. I'm kind of going off of the book. I have not worked with her. Again, she spoke to me based on the card. Since it is about healing tonight, it is about connection. According to the book in the Goddess Guidance Oracle card, Yule has been revered since ancient times as a Mayan moon goddess who, with her husband, the sun god, gave birth to all other Mayan gods. As the embodiment of the moon, Yule is intimately connected to the tides of the waters. She is believed to control the rain flow and all aspects of water. In fact, she is called Lady Rainbow, as her essence is infused with water droplet prisms that create rainbows. As a mother goddess, Yule helps with fertility and childbirth. She is also a powerful healer who remembers the origin of human life upon the planet. She can connect you to your foundational roots as a spiritual healer. So I have her in the middle here to kind of connect Vesta and Mawu as that spiritual connection. That idea of taking something that is so innate in us, the idea of hearth and home, and really connecting us to Mother Earth and seeing her as our true home, and healing that connection. When it comes to my home, like I said, I kind of become a mama bear. Don't mess with my kid, don't mess with my family, don't mess with my friends, and we're good. But you mess with, something that I hold sacred, we're going to have issues. Well, Mother Earth and us, her children, we're all sacred. Our earth is sacred. We are children of the earth, therefore we are sacred. And yet we all continue to fuck with each other and mess with each other and hurt each other. And I want there to be that connection with this healing. I really feel this Yule, it is so much about connection and so much about understanding each other and being there for each other and really healing those ties. So really with this setup, in this cauldron, all the little herbs and stones and everything that if I tilt it, it's just going to be blackness. Everything I'm going to put in the orb is going to go in here for charging. I'm going to say a few little witchy words over it and really meditate with it and connect to it. And then the idea is to have Vesta, Mawu, and Ishil constantly kind of charging and putting their juju into it, as well as my altar of goddess energy and ancestral energy kind of pumping into here as well. So yeah, I just thought I would share my setup, kind of my forethought into doing this spellcraft. Again, I think when we sit down to make something, whether it's just, and I shouldn't say just because nothing is ever just, whether it's something we view as like a simple candle magic working, or if it's this huge ornate ceremonial thing, for me, sometimes I am called to sit there and just go off the wing and roll with it. And actually that's what's going into my cauldron tonight is all kind of coming from these cards that lay before me, these energies that I've called to my circle. They're going to kind of connect me to what is it I need, what is it I want, what is it that's going to work best here. And but I did take a lot of, but sometimes you do get called to really put a lot of time and planning into it. And sometimes you get called to put a lot of time and planning into something, and then you get to the precipice of doing the ceremony, and it's like, you know what? All that's out the window. We're just going to roll with this. This Yule has really been about trusting my gut and focusing on that, and as well as that connection, and understanding that each of us in this life experience are connected to each other, and even beyond that, our ancestors are connected, those that have come before us, whether we knew them or not, whether they were part of our ancestral bonfire or not, they still are somehow connected through, and those connections should be at the very least acknowledged, if not honored. And that honoring doesn't need to be something in some long drawn out ceremony. It can be something as simple as making some chicken noodle soup, but sometimes it is this long process of setup and intent, and it's different every time, and that's kind of cool, and that's kind of fun, and it keeps things interesting. And I really hope everyone else is connecting to the energy of this Yule and embracing it, because for me, it's been crazy, it's been hectic, it's been a lot to take, but I think the lessons that are at the root of everything are really amazing. And it kind of strikes me just as I say that Yule is what kicks off the element of earth, and it's the root of everything, the foundation of everything that really is leaving such a magical and lasting impression with me, at least this year. So yeah, with that, I will let you go so I can begin my working, but I thought this would be a good sharing. So yeah, blessed be. Bye guys.